Welcome to the Webby O'Neill channel. Match reaction, Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. And wow, the actual relief. You could see it, couldn't you? The ABUs all steaming onto the Manchester United channels, giving Erik Ten Hag the player's stick. And the captain steps up with a captain's goal. And what a way to finish the game.
What a way to finish the game. Oh, my God. The relief in me, the relief in them players and Erik Ten Hag. Oh, it was just unbelievable, the relief. I'm telling you, I've just seen the headlines being written and they were just ready to pile in. But let's get something straight here. That was not a good Manchester United performance. We got the goal, and I'll tell you what, I don't think their goalie had much to do. We are poor in creating goals, and that has got to change.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that, no doubt, throughout today's video. Let us know your opinions as well on that game. But for your first half, you know, we did actually create something from a free kick for once, but it was ruled out for offside. What was your thoughts on that offside decision?
Absolutely as strange as anything. But it's Man United, you know, it's not going for him. You know what I mean? It's just not happening. Absolutely fabulous free kick. Garnacho there, and then finished off by McTominay. And I thought McTominay, when you speak about him today, the work rate, the fight he put in that first half was absolutely superb. He was everywhere. He was driving forward. He was coming back in the defence. He was in the midfield. I thought the performance he put in was like way above anything we've seen from him. And I've said it time and time again, he's a great squad player. He's not the greatest of players, but that is the performance players need to put in, and he did it. I also looked at Wan-Bissaka. I thought Wan-Bissaka was excellent today. The only thing what let Wan-Bissaka down today, driving forward, was Anthony. I thought Anthony today...
I think we need to have serious conversations about him, because that performance from Anthony today, I can't think of a worse individual performance from anyone in a red shirt for a long time. And I'm actually surprised he didn't get hooked off earlier than what he did.
I don't think he should have come out for the second half.
Yeah.
I just don't know what he actually created in that first half. Or, well, I say first half, in the whole game. I thought he was poor. When he did get the ball, he did one or two little flicks, one or two tricks, and they never worked. And I just thought, really, why isn't any Manchester United player screaming at him, saying, what do you think you're doing? You know, you need to do better. And when he got brought off, that was 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes too late. So I look at Erik Ten Hag in that sense, and I say to myself, what are you watching? You know, he wasn't creating anything. If you look, our chances in that second half, they weren't there. He came flying off the pitch, Højlund, disgusted, as if to say, well, what do you want me to do? No one's giving me the ball. Quite right, he was angry. He wasn't being given it. The edge of the area stuff wasn't working again. So he's one frustrated man. Sometimes he kept coming back. But Anthony, very poor. And I also look at Erik Ten Hag today and I say to myself, why was you slow in bringing Eriksen off? To me, Eriksen in that second half, straight away you could see it, gone.
Yeah, but he was giving the ball away too easily, and he was, I think it was around about that 60th minute. Fulham had like a five minute period there where they created 2 or 3 chances, and it gave him a little bit of momentum. And you was just thinking to yourself, right, it's time now for Eriksen to come off, maybe Mount or Hannibal come straight on, and obviously he brought Mount and Martial on, but a bit later.
Yeah, but listen, I thought Eriksen should have gone off a lot earlier, well earlier than he should have done. But hey, let's not dwell on that. I've got to look at some other players there. I look at Harry Maguire. What
Fantastic performance.
Fantastic.
The way he was playing there, apparently with concussion.
Yeah.
You know, throughout that first half, I thought he was solid. You know, he coming into the second half as well. I don't think he put too much, well, put a foot wrong, really. You're always going to have little moments in games in the Premier League where you do get beaten, etc. But I thought for large parts of that game, he was solid again. And I think that's something that Erik Ten Hag has got right. You know, leaving Varane out on the bench and playing Harry Maguire there at the right back, well, on the right side of centre defence. So.
Yeah, I look at today's game with the centre halves, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans. Wasn't the hardest game to play against, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at Fulham, it wasn't really as though they were mad attacking. You didn't really see anything in that first half from them. It was this maybe the last 15 minutes, I thought United sort of faded and they came into the game. But the second half, they put more pressure on. But Harry Maguire stood up to it. Johnny Evans stood up to it. Onana there, some couple of fantastic saves in that second half. But I look at that first half there, the first 30 minutes, I thought we started well. I thought the possession, the movement was good from players, the tracking back, the running. When players were getting caught, they were running back and tackling. Like you say, the free kicks, things like that improved. Going forward, fine. But one point in that first half, I'm telling you now, right, if Casemiro would have made that tackle in that first half, like that Pelini did, he would have been booked straight away. I do not understand that referee not booking him. And when you consider that he got booked in the second half, that player would have been off. But, you know...
What do you mean for that challenge, for that free kick? What led to the goal, but it was ruled out, that one? No, early on in the first 7 minutes, wasn't it?
There was a tackle in the first 7 minutes, and Pelini made it, and he never got booked. So I was baffled by it. But I look at that first half, and I thought it was encouraging, especially the half hour. It was the second half what I was like worried about in play, because United had just gone off the ball. They didn't seem to be like striking and, you know, striking the ball proper, the passing and everything. It was all breaking down and it was just in little bits. But let me tell you something. When we scored that goal, Pellistri made the difference. He did not give up. He challenged for the ball, he run, he put the players under pressure, and it kept bouncing back. That's what created the opportunity. A little bit of chaos. He did a lot more there than Anthony did in all the time he was on. So Pellistri, for me, workhorse, got for it. But some players there...
The thing is, though, Anthony's had his chances as well, if you include this Fulham game today, to impress, you know, pick up some form, some momentum, and he's not giving anything to the team, in my opinion. So I'm always an advocate. If you're playing 3 or 4 games on the bounce, you're not producing anything. It's Manchester United. Someone else should be given an opportunity to come in and impress. And for me, Pellistri's not done too much wrong. You take it back to his last opportunity. Was it Bayern Munich away? You know, you're coming up against Bayern Munich, one of the giants of European football, and, you know, playing up against Alphonso Davies. He didn't do a lot wrong that night. So for him to be put back out of the team for so long, in my opinion, and for Anthony to be given these starts, I don't agree with it at all. And he needs to come in for me now, Pellistri, in the next game.
Well, I look at that team, what he picked, and I definitely think he was looking more forward to the Copenhagen game on Wednesday night. I think you won't see a few of them players. You definitely cannot see Anthony there, not after that performance. Whether he brings Pellistri in or whether he brings Mount and swaps it round, I'm not too sure. But I think that team there will not be the same team for Wednesday night. But Anthony, you know...
The thing is,
the games he's been playing in that, he has been poor. And Erik ten Hag has been sort of like, people have had a go at him as if to say Anthony's his favourite. But time's up for favourites. You know, you either perform like you say or you're out the door on the bench. So for me, Anthony really should be dropped now.
You're talking about Mason Mount, and we've said it a couple of times over the past recent games. This is a game for Mason Mount. Get him in midfield, use his legs, his energy. But it just doesn't seem like he's favouring him at all in that midfield area. So what is the problem there? Why can't he seem to fit him into a midfield from the start?
Listen, there's a lot of things. You say that, putting players in from the start, why can't he fit him in? I mean, if you look at the lethargic way they were going about working together and trying to create chances, there's a lot wrong with that team, a lot wrong. And that result there, well, getting the 3 points is the only thing I can say positive about it.
Definitely.
Positive about it. The performance wasn't what we wanted.
Luckily, though, we had 2 or 3 individual performances that got us over the line. You look at, like you say, Scott McTominay today, Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, since he's come back, had a little bit of a cameo in the last game, started today. So, you know, them performances there, you know, it's a bright point, it's a positive.
Yeah, but you also look at Delot, left back. I thought Delot over at left back, which we've criticised Erik ten Hag for not playing him left back when he should have done, and putting Lindelof at right back, because it would have suited Lindelof more. But today I thought Lindelof had a solid game. There was one incident, Delot, I mean, there was one incident there where he tracked the player back right at the back post and he just did a sliding tackle. Thought it was fantastic. And sometimes you see players stood there and let the players go. But today, I thought he was excellent. I thought Wan-Bissaka was excellent. And to be honest with you, the link-up play with Garnacho, with Dalot, didn't really seem to like hit it off in that first half. It came more late on in the second half. But Wan-Bissaka, I think with them partnerships there, I think you're looking at something what will build and will help Man United going forward. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. Players going to come back from injuries. And you also look at the players what was on the bench. I see them players coming on Wednesday, and I think that will give a lift to the game and the way and the structure and the way it's played. But today, at times there, I thought, especially in that first half, I thought the possession, the passing, the movement, the tracking back was all good. And I think Fulham really put a bit more pressure on United. They could see that they were there to have a go. And I think United lost it a little bit. But we've seen that in virtually every game we've watched Man United this year, where United sort of buckle under a little bit of pressure. And I thought that pressure, it might tell. And at the end of the day, there were some really good saves by Nana. And there was a couple of other opportunities. And it was tough for United to get back in this game until them substitutes were made.
Yeah, you just think... you look at Fulham today, the home team, they offered absolutely nothing as well. And you just think if other teams out there who are near the top of the Premier League would have come today, they'd have had a bag full in that first half alone. Yeah. And you're just looking at our midfield there. It does look absolutely disjointed with Eriksen and McTominay there. McTominay, I thought, had a great game today.
Yes.
Always looking at trying to win the second balls and knockdowns from the forwards, or trying to, put the tackles in and put pressure on Fulham's defence and midfield. So that's something he needs to look at in there, because if we're coming up against the bigger teams, I do not think Eriksen and McTominay in the midfield work for me.
I thought what you're seeing when Fulham put the pressure on United in that second half was where McTominay sort of like came back a bit more. That free marauding going forward like he did in the first half.
More box to box.
Right? He was doing that box to box, but there was less of that in the second half, purely to the fact that Fulham were putting on the pressure. They had several corners. It was coming. And I thought at one moment they might just get this. And I was fearful of a 1-0 defeat here, the way it was going. And I didn't see United getting back into it. But like I say, the substitutes changed it, getting Anthony off, getting Eriksen off. Way overdue them. They were way overdue, but they were the right substitutions. And Pelestri gave a lot more. But to me, I thought the man of the match there today, I was looking at Harry Maguire and I was thinking...
Harry Maguire's got to be.
Yeah, I've got to look at him and just say, the condition he was in from early on in that game, and it was clearly under a cloud there.
Harry Maguire clearly plays better with concussion.
Well, listen, I watched him.
He might have to get a few headshots before he starts the games in future. You never know, do you? Because
listen, I watched him there, and I thought at times there his passing, his talking to the players, his long ball today, I thought was excellent for the Harry Maguire, what we know. And I thought his confidence, and I have said this, his last couple of games and that, his confidence, when he has played, Sheffield United away and things like that, I thought he's been really sort of building up a pattern of his confidence and his passing ability is great.
I think he's got that confidence though, because the manager's shown confidence in him starting in the big games recently. I know we've not played well and we've been beaten in the last couple of games before this one today, but just to show him that confidence by starting him, I think that's also helped Harry Maguire. But I totally agree with you, he's had a good performance today, but I've got to go with Scott McTominay. I think over the 90 minutes he was our most consistent player in terms of getting back, tackling and trying to go forward and create something. But just one question there. Did you notice with Bruno today, he was like more disciplined in his positional sense, trying to stay a bit more up the pitch in and around Højlund instead of like playing left back, centre back and just being a bit of a headless chicken like we've seen recently?
Yeah, well, Bruno was doing more of the game he's supposed to be doing in his position. He wasn't running round trying to like do other people's work. It was also like quiet than what he normally is. He wasn't arms raising and shouting, bawling, running after players, and just, he generally got on with his game, which was good. And at the end of the day, he got his just reward. I wouldn't say it was a perfect Bruno performance today, because there was times there where he gave the ball away. He didn't make the right choice at times, but there was lots of times where he was passing the ball and he was springing it left and right. So it was an in and out performance today by Bruno, but that's what we want to see by Bruno, getting the shots on target, not panicking, taking your time, and that's exactly what he did. He just nutmegged him on the edge, took his time and put it in there, and it was a fantastic goal. But the work to get it beforehand, I was impressed with. I thought, Palestra closing down and all that. That's what makes goals. You just got to make your own look. And the way it bounced about, right, the look of the bounce and that, it was just going United's way. And a lot of things haven't gone United's way at the moment, well, for a long time. But let's hope it changes. But to me, I think Erik ten Hag will look at that and think to himself, valuable 3 points. Let's hope now we can move on. But one thing, I'm telling you now.
Here we go. Go on.
Yeah, I'm telling you now. I've got to tell you this, right? Erik ten Hag was under big pressure today. There's no two ways about it, right? I've got faith in him. A lot of people have. You know when Erik ten Hag's in trouble, and at no point did that United fan base there today, at any time, right, put Erik ten Hag under any pressure, put the team under pressure. They were there to support. I always say, right, you know when you're done. You look at Ollie. He was done. The crowd weren't happy with him that last game. It was clear to everyone, and the crowd made it clear that day. Well, the crowd have told everybody, never mind all the waffle and the noise, what goes on round. They were right behind the club from minute one right till the end, and that tells you what it's all about. That's being a proper football supporter, supporting your team, going away, right? And you know the problems what United have got. That crowd knows. It's a knowledgeable crowd. It understands. So I'm with them all the way, okay? Backing my club, backing my team. You know, we know when it's pear-shaped, and that crowd will tell you. And we
also know that it wasn't a good performance today.
It wasn't a good performance. We know that.
And we need to improve. But,
yeah,
you know, games like today, when you're getting a late winner like that, you've got to enjoy it. You've got to celebrate it, no matter who you are playing against. And it's 3 points. It's a vital 3 points.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've said it a couple of times recently. Hopefully it is like a turning point for United. And let's put it right. Let's, you know, fingers crossed. It is a turning point because it's a big week coming up next week when you've got Copenhagen in the Champions League. Yeah. 3 points is definitely needed there. Yeah. But what I'd ask you before we go, because I think it'd be unfair for us to discuss it, because I'm sure the media out there will. Marcus Rashford wasn't involved today, not involved in the squad. Do you believe the reasons Man United give, that he took a knock and wasn't available?
Well, it's not whether I believe or not. What you have to do, you have to accept what was said. He took a heavy knock in training and he failed a fitness test. So I don't disbelieve that. I've no reason to. But the thing is, the media doesn't want to believe it, and your haters don't want to believe it. But hey, the manager said it. And at the end of the day, I can't see it being any different. So the haters will have their say, no matter what the truth is. It's Man United, and everyone will want to dismiss that result and everything what United say, and especially Erik ten Hag. But, you know, going forward, you've got to keep your faith. You've got to keep going. The fans are right behind Erik ten Hag in the club, and that's what you have to do. We're not daft. That was a poor game today, based on the Man United standards. That was a poor Fulham side, right? And we got the win, and that was the most important thing. But there's little things, and only little things in that game today, right? What you can say, I like that. That was good. He was good. But it's not good enough. We all know that. We're not daft.
Indeed. I think we'll leave it on that. I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us today, getting involved in the chat there. Some great comments as usual. Please smash a like on the channel as well to support it. You all have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday. Take it easy, Reds, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.